Ever notice how some people quietly build wealth, but never talk about their financial goals? No posts. No announcements. No big plans shared with friends. They study money in private. They learn about investing quietly. And while everyone else talks, their bank account slowly changes. Strange, right? Most people think sharing goals creates motivation. But in financial psychology, the opposite often happens. Sometimes the moment you announce a goal, your brain feels rewarded before the work even begins. So today you'll discover why some of the most disciplined wealth builders stay silent, and the hidden psychology behind protecting your goals. And one mistake people make when sharing financial plans can quietly destroy their progress before it even starts. A lot of people don't realize this, but many individuals quietly hide their financial goals long before they even take the first step. In financial psychology, that fear usually comes from one simple thought: what if people laugh at me? So instead of talking about how to make money or improving their personal finance situation, they keep everything locked inside their own head. It's the same tension you see in movies like The Pursuit of Happiness, where the main character keeps pushing forward even while people around him doubt his path. The smart move here isn't to announce a big financial plan to the world right away. Instead, a powerful money mindset starts privately. A person might sit down with a notebook and write a clear target like save $20,000 in 2 years or invest $500 every month in an S&P 500 index fund. That simple act already activates better money habits and creates direction, which is one of the most basic but overlooked finance tips in personal finance. Think about it like the early training scenes in Rocky. Nobody in the neighborhood believed he would become a champion, so most of the work happened quietly, in the background. That's exactly how strong financial education often begins. Someone studies books like The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel or Think and Grow Rich, starts tracking spending, and slowly builds the discipline that later turns into real wealth. But here's where things get interesting. Once someone starts defining goals privately, a new psychological pressure appears that many people never expect. Suddenly it's not just fear of judgment anymore, it's the pressure of expectations from others. And that shift in financial psychology changes everything about how people approach their personal finance journey. Another reason many people stay quiet about their financial goals is something deeper than fear: it's pressure. The moment someone announces a goal like "I'm going to invest $10,000 this year," people start watching. Friends ask questions, family members track progress, and suddenly the journey of improving personal finance feels like a public scoreboard. In financial psychology, that pressure can quietly sabotage even the best money habits. That's why many financially disciplined people choose a different strategy. Instead of broadcasting their goals, they build a private accountability system. One powerful finance tip is setting a weekly self-check-in every Sunday night, review spending, check investment contributions, and adjust the plan. This simple habit strengthens financial education and keeps the focus on progress instead of outside opinions. You can actually see a similar dynamic in the show Suits. Harvey Specter doesn't announce every move he's about to make, he studies the situation, plans quietly, and executes when the moment is right. Building wealth often works the same way. Someone might quietly automate $300 a month into an index fund like Vanguard's VTI or start stacking shares of companies like Apple or Microsoft without telling anyone. Over time, those quiet systems build confidence because the progress becomes real and measurable. But something even more important happens psychologically: protecting your energy becomes a priority. Because once people start improving their money habits, they quickly notice that not everyone around them wants to see that growth. And that realization leads directly to the next hidden force behind silent financial goals. Something interesting happens once someone starts improving their personal finance habits. They begin noticing that certain environments quietly drain their motivation. In financial psychology, negativity spreads faster than ambition, and comments like "that's unrealistic" or "nobody gets rich like that" can slowly weaken a developing money mindset. So instead of constantly explaining their plans for how to make money, many people simply choose silence. A smart move here is doing what could be called a financial environment audit. Who actually supports growth, and who always shuts down conversations about financial education? One practical finance tip is to limit money conversations with people who constantly complain about money but never change their habits. Instead, Fill that space with better inputs, podcasts like The Ramsey Show or books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad that reinforce stronger money habits. You see this dynamic clearly in the series Billions. Characters who operate at a high financial level protect their mental space aggressively because they know doubt and distraction cost real money. The same principle applies to everyday life. Someone trying to save $1,000 a month or invest consistently in ETFs can lose momentum fast if every conversation around them is full of sarcasm about wealth or investing. But once a person starts filtering out that negative noise, something powerful happens psychologically. Their focus sharpens, their personal finance strategy becomes clearer, and their decisions feel more intentional. And that's where another hidden factor starts to appear, because when outside noise disappears, people begin craving something even more important: control over their financial outcomes. Once someone blocks out negativity, a new desire starts showing up in their financial psychology. It's the desire for control. When people keep their financial goals quiet, they remove outside opinions that could distort their decisions about personal finance, investing, or how to make money. Silence gives them full psychological ownership of the process, and that ownership strengthens their money mindset. One of the most underrated finance tips is tracking spending manually at least once a week. Not an app doing everything automatically, actually writing down expenses or reviewing a spreadsheet every Sunday. Studies in behavioral financial education show that people who manually track spending often reduce unnecessary expenses by 15 to 20%. That simple habit can free hundreds of dollars a month that can be redirected into investments. Think about the show Breaking Bad, not the illegal side of the story, but the strategic mindset you see in Walter White during the early seasons. Every move is calculated, controlled, and deliberate. Financial growth works the same way. Someone might review bank statements, cut a $200 monthly subscription habit, and redirect that money into an S&P 500 ETF, which historically averages around 8 to 10% annually over long periods. Over a decade, that disciplined control can turn small habits into serious wealth. Investing just $300 a month at a 9% average return could grow to more than $55,000 in 10 years. But even with that progress, another psychological barrier often appears, because for many people, money isn't just numbers, it becomes tied to identity and self-worth. Here's a truth most people never talk about in personal finance. For many individuals, money quietly becomes part of their identity. If a financial goal fails, it doesn't just feel like a bad investment decision, it feels personal. In financial psychology, this is one of the biggest reasons people avoid sharing goals about how to make money, because failing publicly can feel like exposing their value as a person. The solution starts by separating identity from outcomes. A strong money mindset focuses on daily money habits, not the final number in the bank account. For example, instead of obsessing over becoming a millionaire, someone builds a system, saving 20% of income, investing monthly in broad ETFs like VOO or VTI, and reading one financial education book every month. These habits create progress even before the big financial milestones appear. This idea shows up clearly in the series The Office. Michael Scott constantly ties his self-worth to how others see him, which often leads to poor decisions. But the characters who quietly improve, like Jim building stability and planning ahead, focus on consistent actions instead of validation. Personal finance works exactly the same way. The system matters more than the applause. Over time, focusing on habits instead of identity removes the fear of failure. A bad investment becomes a lesson, not a personal defeat. But something else starts to reveal itself as this mindset grows stronger. Some people simply perform better when their progress happens away from the spotlight, and that leads to a powerful strategy most people completely overlook. Some people simply execute better when nobody is watching. That's not weakness, it's actually a pattern studied in financial psychology. When goals stay private, the brain focuses more on action and less on validation. Instead of talking about how to make money, the person spends that time building real money habits that strengthen their personal finance foundation. One powerful strategy is building a quiet financial system. For example, a fixed saving day every Friday, a fixed investing day on the first of every month, and a fixed review day every Sunday evening. Many wealth builders automate $200, $500, or even $1,000 monthly into index funds like VTI or SPY. Over time, those systems compound quietly, and according to long-term market data, consistent investing over 20 years can multiply those contributions several times. You can see this mindset in the show Breaking Bad during the early episodes when Walter White carefully builds plans step by step, analyzing risks and outcomes before making moves. Again, focusing on the strategic mindset rather than the illegal story itself. Wealth building works similarly: quiet preparation, careful systems, and disciplined execution without unnecessary noise. And here's the interesting part. People who move quietly often produce the loudest financial results later. Their financial education grows, their personal finance strategy becomes sharper, and their money mindset becomes almost unshakable. But there's an ancient principle about this kind of quiet discipline that goes back thousands of years, and it might explain why silence and strategy have always been connected to long-term abundance. There's an old principle that has guided disciplined builders for thousands of years. In the book of Proverbs 21 verse 5, it says that careful planning and consistent effort lead to abundance. That idea lines up perfectly with modern financial psychology. People who slowly build strong money habits, study financial education, and stay patient with their personal finance strategy usually outperform those chasing quick wins about how to make money. Think about the slow build strategy you see in the series The Crown. Power and influence are rarely built through loud announcements, they're built through careful moves, patience, and long-term planning. Personal finance works the same way. Someone might invest $400 a month into an S&P 500 fund, keep expenses below 70% of income, and steadily increase savings every year. In 25 years, that discipline alone can grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars. One practical way to apply this principle is creating a 3-layer system: emergency savings covering 6 months of expenses, automated investing every month, and a quarterly financial review. These finance tips might sound simple, but studies show that people who automate savings and investments are far more consistent over decades. Quiet discipline beats emotional decision-making almost every time. And here's the twist most people don't expect. When someone combines wisdom, patience, and strong financial habits, the results eventually become impossible to hide. The silence that once protected their goals turns into visible stability, freedom, and options. But to really understand why so many people hide their financial ambitions in the first place, you have to start at the beginning, because the psychology behind it might be closer to your own life than you realize. Remember the feeling at the beginning, the hesitation, the instinct to keep your financial goals quiet because you didn't want the judgment, the pressure, or the doubts from others. Now you can see it differently. That silence wasn't necessarily fear. Sometimes it was your mind protecting a new direction in your personal finance life. And the moment you start building better money habits, learning real financial education, and applying simple finance tips consistently, that quiet beginning can turn into something powerful. But let's be real for a second. Most people never break the cycle. They keep talking about money problems, but they never build a system to actually change their financial psychology. If you've made it this far, you're already thinking differently. So here's the move. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the strategies you're learning here about money mindset, personal finance, and how to make money are designed to help you build habits that can completely transform your financial future. Now here's something important. Throughout this video you've seen how consistent planning, disciplined money habits, and the right financial psychology can slowly reshape your financial life. But if you want a structured path that shows you exactly how to create smarter income strategies, build long-term investing habits, eliminate destructive spending patterns, and maintain mental clarity under financial pressure, there's a deeper resource designed for that. The Material Holistic Health, Nourish Your Mind, Balance Your Finances, Transform Your Life was created to help you build a complete system, how to create additional income streams, strengthen your money mindset, design weekly financial routines, and stay emotionally stable while growing wealth. If you're serious about changing your relationship with money instead of just thinking about it, click the link in the pinned comment now and start transforming your finances today. Check out the material in the pinned comment and take the next real step.